Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here, and today I wanted to make a quick video showing off some of the new screenshots from Total War Warhammer. It seems that the press were invited to a kind of pre-E3 event at the studio here in the UK, and they got to see a demo battle for the Battle of Blackfire Pass, which apparently is showing off a new battle type to Total War called the Quest Battle. I'll link you to the particular article that I'm kind of referencing to in this, which is the PC Gamer article, but I've read loads of different articles today, and most of them actually seem quite positive and very encouraging of the direction that Creative Assembly are going with Warhammer. A few of them even kind of, mentioning that they were quite impressed with what they saw and that it's taking a different direction in kind of spite of the kind of bad launch of Rome 2 and the work that Creative Assembly had to do in patches afterwards. So that kind of is hopeful. Again, I believe this is, it's still very much in alpha, and so stuff you're seeing in the screenshots could well be, I think it's gameplay, from the game itself. But I don't know how much of this is kind of carefully angled, set pieces, or whether this is, full on 100% gameplay. I haven't been invited to any events yet, and I haven't, had a chance to look at the game or any demos for it yet. I'm not going to E3, so I won't be, getting any footage from there. But what I'm hoping is that post E3, Creative Assembly will perhaps invite myself and several other YouTubers up to the studio to take a look at this demo for the Battle of Blackfire Pass and this new kind of quest battle system that they've got. And the quest battle system, PC Gamer has said that, if you're familiar with Endless Legend, it'll be quite similar to that, but essentially every character in your army has a chain of quests to follow that unlocks new items, abilities, and mounts. And Blackfire Pass apparently is the final battle for the leader of the human faction, Emperor Karl Franz, and if he wins this battle, then he will be able to wield the legendary Hammer of Sigma. But they say it's a big if because it's quite a big battle. I think another article, or maybe it was this one itself, actually said that it was scripted and heavily scripted. So, and I think another article mentioned that the journalist didn't actually get hands-on with this. That it was someone else at Creative Assembly was playing it, and they were just kind of viewing it. So, take what you will out of that. But again, the game's in alpha. There's been no release date set. I personally think we're not going to see it until 2016-ish. Not just kind of my own kind of thoughts on that, but my own desire. Actually, I don't want to see this until 2016 because I want them to spend enough time, making this a solid, good game. And while I know some people in the community have sort of said that, well, Games Workshop is often kind of a stickler for accuracy and quite hard on developers and publishers that use their IP, I hope that in this case they use that kind of business ethic to make Creative Assembly, make the best Total War Warhammer game that they can. And I hope that that's something that then rubs off into their other, games that they make for the series. Other information that we've gained kind of from the article and screenshots come along. Apparently, two big things. One, there is now 30 different types of skeletons, so there's loads more models as opposed to 5 or 6 in previous Total War games. And also, apparently, in the I read this in the PC Games N article. If I can, I'll link both the PC Gamer and that one because I found them both slightly different kind of focus points at various bits. But PC Games N, I think, mentioned that there's new technology which increases the size of units, as it were. So I think in the current Total War games, the standard highest unit size is 160. I think they've suggested that actually they've been able to work on new technology to expand unit sizes even further without a performance hit. Now, obviously, there may well be a bit of a performance hit, and I don't know how accurate that is, and when they come into optimization and performance testing and things like that later down the line, whether that will stay or not. But that is interesting and promising. And now that, to me, again, especially with the higher number of skeletons, and they've also, all the articles I've read as well have mentioned big emphasis on loads more animations for all the various combatants and units. You've got big units such as trolls, and you'll have seen them in the screenshots, and ogres, and you've obviously got flying units, which apparently they've said is working, but it's still very much a work in progress, and it's not necessarily that fluid yet. It's being worked on, but fair enough. It's the first time they're bringing air-to-air combat, and obviously I guess air-to-ground combat as well, because you'll have dragons and flying griffins landing on units and things like that, I just thought. But apparently there's loads of really new, unique animations, such as for Karl Franz on his griffin grabbing a unit, I believe, and throwing it down into the ground or whipping it up into the air. There's animations like that. Apparently match combat is also it's obviously still in the game, but it's also not happening. Like the executions, I think, and the killing animations are kind of happening a bit more, not as much, so that I don't know how that works if there's not match combat all the time, and maybe again that's open to interpretation from what the article actually said or not, and what the guys there were actually trying to say. I wasn't particularly clear on that, but they kind of suggested that match combat would happen less frequency but more for kind of big executions and killings. So I don't know what will happen in the meantime. Will there just be random units hacking at each other? But apparently the animations are tighter as well, so you won't have as much kind of random drop in between a charge and then units apparently fighting. Apparently the block will go straight up or what have you. But all of that honestly makes me think that Creative Assembly may have upgraded their TW3 engine to 64-bit, because previously when they've mentioned engine stuff, it's normally they've been limited to I believe the 2 gig of memory that they have to work with a 32-bit engine or something like that. They're limited with the amount of memory and within that memory all the animations, all the units and all the factions have to go into that, apparently. That's my vague understanding of it. The only way to kind of add in more or add more depth is to potentially look to go to a 64-bit engine. Now this all sounds like they're adding loads more into the game, so unless they've completely reworked and the modular TW3 engine as it is, then it does kind of sound like they're embracing a 64-bit engine, potentially. I don't know. Again, this will be questions I'll be putting to the developers when I get an opportunity to do so, when I get my turn. So I'm excited to see what they've actually done, engine-wise, performance-wise, because this does look like it's actually going to be one of the biggest scale Total Wars that we've ever seen. And now, obviously, a lot of us are going to worry that that's going to put an even bigger strain on what have previously been, in some cases, very unoptimized titles. So we certainly, me definitely, I definitely want to see multi-core support. If it is 64-bit, even if it's not 64-bit, still, the option potentially of DirectX 12, that's happening. You've got Windows 10 coming out this summer. Again, if I personally think we're not going to see this till 2016, and I'd prefer them to wait longer and make a better game. And if the newer technology of DirectX 12 and a 64-bit engine take longer to implement, I'd say go for it, Creative Assembly, and make a more polished, more optimized game. So that's what I'm kind of feeling from this. Those are my thoughts from that. Apparently, also something worth noting, that, and now again, no one's specifically said this in these exact words, but they've suggested that heroes and lords appear as traditional Total War agents with campaign-level powers, but it then says but attach them to an army and they appear in battle. So that suggests to me like you can have armies without generals again, or does that sound like that could well be that a lord to command an army sounds right. But then if we're talking about agents, that could well still be the current system we have, where you attach an agent as an extra unit to an army. So what they're suggesting is that if you do attach an agent, no longer will the spy just be sitting there hidden somewhere, but he'll also appear on the battlefield as well. So 2 things to take out there. I mean, potentially we could see a revert to the older system of you not needing a general to have an army or raise an army. But it looks, on second reading that, actually, that has actually changed my opinion in the last couple of seconds, that having another read, that actually maybe that just means that agents will appear on the battlefield rather than being able to have armies separate from generals again. I personally wouldn't mind having that again. I know it does place more importance on generals and what have you, but at the same time, I would love to just be able to send a few units running through the countryside to reinforce a city or something like that. But, most of the articles have said that, you know, some traditional Total War elements are still there, but there are a lot of new different things for Total War Warhammer that have, you know, been brought in. Obviously, quest battles, that sounds very new and very different. Apparently, the Greenskins will have their own system of WAG, which apparently pushes them on faster when they're fighting, but penalises them heavily for peace. That sounds like the Crusade or Jihad mechanic from Medieval 2. It does seem like they're developing and evolving the Horde mechanic feature as well, versus traditional build-up an empire. But it does actually sound like, while we've been told that there are races in the game representing factions, it does actually sound like there may well be more kind of factions within a race, because they're suggesting that as both the Greenskins and the Empire, you'll need to unite the other clans or factions of humans around you to build up your true empire, as it were, before you then launch into large-scale combat. So, plenty of things to think through there. I'm sure I'll be discussing this again in a Warcast, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully this has given you something to ponder on and about. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on these screenshots, whether you think it's way too soon and that we shouldn't be, you know, we should just kind of dismiss some of this because it just looks pretty and, you know, we've got no gameplay video or something like that. We should see some stuff, I would like to think, from E3, so maybe in about a week or so's time we will actually get to see some video substance to back this up. As I said, hopefully I'll get a chance to go up to Creative Assembly at some point after E3 and check out this this demo for the Battle of Blackfire Pass. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe for more Warhammer information as it comes out. I'll see you in the next one. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Take pride and join the Legion. All links are in the description, as well as multiple ways for you to connect with me. While you're there, why not have a look at the link for Green Man Gaming? They have a huge catalogue of games, both new and old, regular deals that are refreshed all the time, and you can save 20% by using my code. If gaming laptops are your thing, why not have a look at XMG? They have a large range of customizable machines, and you can save £30 off a purchase of a gaming laptop by using my affiliate link and code, also found in the description. So, until next time guys, ciao for now.